where your hands can reach it for you. I say you hang in your hat where your hands can reach it for you. You're the goose that laid the golden egg. Then you wanna walk around, then you start to beg. Cause you're buying the hand that feed you. Bite the hand that lead you. Bite the hand that feed you. Oh,
It shows Trump owes more than $1.8 billion, a number that's actually exploded just since he left the White House. Out front now, Forbes senior editor Dan Alexander, who's been pouring through Trump's finances. So, Dan, a lot of this debt actually comes from legal judgments, $454 million to the state of New York after being found liable for fraud. And he's actually racking up millions more in interest. Walk us through what else is there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, the biggest one is that 454 plus the interest, you get to 482. Then you go to his real estate portfolio. He has 360 against a tower in San Francisco. Many of these buildings have lots of debt on them. But there's also the Eugene Carroll case, two cases where he lost and it was ordered to pay $88.5 million. Interest is also accruing on that. So if you put those two legal judgments together, just those things alone, you're at about $575 million. And then you have all of the real estate stuff on top of that.
So let's say even if cases under appeal, right? So there's a chance that changes. So if we put that aside, the legal judgments, you've been mentioning the real estate business. What really stands out to you most in terms of the debt there?
The one that I think will be potentially most troublesome for Trump is connected to 40 Wall Street. So he has $118 million of debt against that building. And his leasehold interest in the building, we estimate, is only worth $116 million. So it looks like the building is a little bit underwater. And that debt comes due in July of next year. So he's got to figure out a solution here pretty quickly. There are two options. One is he could go find a bank to refinance the loan. But banks are going to be pretty skeptical of refinancing an old, aging office building where the occupancy is going down since COVID. Or he can pay for it himself. He has about $400 million in cash. Also, these legal judgments hanging over his head. Does he really want to tie up, say, $120 million paying off this debt? That's going to be tough for him to do. But in any case, he's going to have to figure out some solution here as he's rounding the corner into 2025.
So he talked about happening.
Of him selling, you never know. I mean, it would, from a business perspective, it would make sense for him to sell them. Okay, this is a guy who needs cash, and he's got a huge asset, and these are liquid shares. He should sell these from strictly a business perspective. Also, he can sell a big portion of his shares and still hang on to a big portion of the company. So it just makes a lot of sense. But it would send the signal that he's not fully behind it, maybe doesn't fully believe in it, and Donald Trump doesn't like to project weakness. So how do you predict how Donald Trump's ego plays into all of that? That's a very difficult question to answer.